Mayor Stan here, and we're right here entering Pinal County, where we're going to be joined by Sheriff Mark Lamb, who's going to take us around what he has to face on a daily basis with the immigration crisis happening here near the southern border. We're going to tour around with Sheriff Lamb and then have conversations about what's happening here is impacting our home state of Oregon and communities like Portland. So let's go see Sheriff Lamb. How am I supposed to have the resources in all these areas,
So, all those mountains out there, that black one, all those mountains out there, a lot of those have scouts that live in them. So we're here because the I-8, it's, you know, if you pull over there, they run the risk of getting caught.
Right.
You come over here, you can sit in these bushes. You saw how it's not easy to get back here.
Right.
All the law enforcement, if we're around here, the chances of running into us are a lot lower.
So take me, what's it been like over the last 2 years or the last year?
Oh, it's been a disaster.
Yeah.
It's been a complete disaster.
What do you think has pushed that forward?
Biden's crappy policies.
Yeah.
This administration is completely responsible for this. Now, you always had some level of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know that. Under President Trump, I think we still had 400,000 apprehensions the year before he left.
Right.
So the apprehensions, I mean, you're going to get them. People try to cross in this country illegally, although the wall had reduced them substantially. All the other border security things like more troops on the ground, more technology, sensors, cameras, all of that stuff works. Well, all of a sudden you come in and you open the borders, you don't send people back. You talk out both sides of your mouth.
Yeah.
And this is what you get.
Yeah.
And what people need to understand, what I always say, this is not about immigration. I think most of us agree. We're all for people coming here to make a better life for themselves. We have a process in place for that.
That's right.
That's what we're asking them to follow. It's not about immigration. This is about human trafficking and drug trafficking into America.
Yep.
If you care about human beings, you should absolutely care about border security, because these people's rights are being abused on a daily basis by the cartels. They rape the women. They use the children as pawns and oftentimes abuse the children that they steal or buy from families on the other side.
Yeah.
And then they extort them in.
Yeah.
And force them to carry drugs. And this is the result of it.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about the decriminalization of hard drugs on the street of Portland and what that's meant, you know, really for my home state. You know, we're seeing a new kind of meth that's really hitting the streets. Are you guys seeing a lot of new kinds of drugs and heavy drug trafficking that's coming through?
We are always at the front line of it. What we see a year before everybody else.
Right.
And we could have told you a year ago you were going to see hardcore meth and hardcore fentanyl.
Yeah.
I think we went over 100,000 fentanyl overdoses in this country already in the last year. In 2018, my county, just Pinal County, not any of the other agencies that work in my county, just mine. 2018, we had 0 M30 fentanyl pill seizures. In 2019, we had 677 pills.
Wow.
In 2020, we had over 200,000 pills. And as of August of this year, we were at 1.1 million fentanyl pills. The Border Patrol estimates that they bring enough fentanyl in every month to kill every American in America.
Wow.
And you tell me that's not a crisis?
That's unbelievable.
All the carpet shoes, the water jugs.
Now, Sheriff, earlier, one thing I asked you is, I said, are your local communities around here just getting flooded with illegal immigrants? And you said something interesting. You said, you would think so, but they're not.
That's
Where do
right.
you suspect they're going?
Well, it's not an Arizona problem. People
Right.
think it is. That's a Texas or an Arizona problem. The cartel and even your own government does not design to leave these people here in Arizona.
Right.
The drugs nor the people they traffic in are not designed to stay here in Arizona.
Right.
It's designed to go to places like Oregon, the Midwest, Nebraska, Ohio, Iowa. Those are the places they get more money for the drugs that they bring in.
Yeah.
And there's less Border Patrol and ICE, so
Right.
inevitably they're going to be safer there from deportation than they would be here in Arizona. So when people say, oh man, you guys are probably just getting flooded. No. We're just the first stop, and if we don't catch them, then they're all throughout America. And so that's why we take this so serious, that we are that last line of before they get into America.
Right.
If we don't stop them, the chances of them being deported or sent back are slim to none.
The dynamic that's so interesting to me is I think so many are leaving, you know, mass poverty and violence, gang violence, and those things. And when you come into Portland, it's got to feel like home. You know, when you look around and you see the things that are going on right in our backyard, you know.
They're probably, when they leave their country and they get to Portland, they're like, hey, I thought I left all this behind.
Right, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You know what's funny? It's not funny, but it's the irony of it all.
Yeah.
The same people that will tell you how awful America is are the same people that want open borders.
Yes.
And what's funny is if you truly thought America was that bad, why would you want more people to come here?
Right, right.
But the fact is, America is still the greatest country in the world, which is why these people are willing to risk their lives coming through this desert. They pay the cartel. Yeah. They're willing to carry drugs. Why? Because they want a piece of the American dream.
That's right.
And it is still alive and well. And this is still the greatest country in the world. And people by the thousands and thousands and thousands every day still are trying to get to this country.
Yeah. Is that right?
If you shut the border down today, the amount of fentanyl and drugs and humans we've allowed in here is going to have a really negative impact on our economy, on the lives of our children and loved ones who get involved in drug addiction, who become victims of fentanyl and methamphetamines. It is going to wreak havoc on this country, and I don't think America's prepared for it.
Right. Well, we see it. I think we're already seeing it in Portland.
Portland's
it's making national news. Yeah. But what people need to realize is that it's leaving Portland. You know, I talk about that a lot as I travel around the state of Oregon. Is that the problems of Portland are not just Portland's problems anymore. They're spreading throughout the state, and it will fester throughout the country unless we stop it.
And we don't want the same type of behavior that has infested Portland streets to infest the rest of the streets of America. And most Americans don't want that.
Yep.
That is not what Americans, contrary to what the media and the politicians will tell you, that is not what America wants. They want their borders secure. They want their communities protected. They want the drugs off the streets. And the only way to do that is to turn off the faucet.
Right.
And that faucet is at the border.
This is their last step, right here to freedom.
This is it. We don't stop from here. Next stop, Oregon.
Yeah.